There's a season that no one really talks about. It's not the harvest, it's not the breakthrough, it's not the highlight reel. It's the season where the soil is quiet, where the skies are gray, and nothing seems to be blooming. It's in that in-between space, after the leap but before the landing, where you feel like you're floating through the unknown with nothing but intuition to guide you. But beneath the silence, something sacred is unfolding. And I call it the silent season of becoming. And that's exactly where I've been. So, welcome back to an episode with me, the Aquarian Payge, and today I'm taking a moment to reflect on the first quarter of the year, the quiet growth, the wins, the challenges, and the deep lessons that shape this season of becoming. It's been a time of transition, rebuilding, and rediscovering my alignment. So in this episode, I'm sharing the behind the scenes of what it really looked like to start fresh, to follow my intuition and trust the process, even when nothing seemed to be blooming just yet. So I landed back in Colorado on New Year's Eve, and I was ready to settle into a new place, a new chapter, a new me, filled with love and healing and self-integration, and ready to jump out and be with community. I had no savings and no real plan, and I just had one job to barely support me. But I did have a whisper in my heart and a flicker of alignment that I really couldn't ignore. I was being called back and I needed to follow it. So I did. And I went ahead and I achieved some goals that had been on the back burner for a few years. I built my website from scratch, spending literal pennies. And honestly, I was pulling from my inner child and the girl who used to obsessively code her MySpace page to make it look really pretty and picking the perfect song. She really came through for me, so shout out little me. Woo woo. There was no big team. There was no investors. There was just me, broke but buzzing with creative energy, trying to figure out how to bring my offerings, myself, my person into the world. And with that really came out the truth of alignment, where it doesn't really always feel like fireworks. Sometimes it feels like doing something very, very scary, doing hard things alone because your soul just won't let you settle. It won't let you just keep putting it off. It makes you do the thing. So there was a whole process to stepping into my alignment. Maybe that's a vlog for another day. But what I'm learning is that the real magic happens when you follow through on those little points of clarity and really show up. When something clicks in your spirit and says, this is the next step. Even if it doesn't make any logical sense, even if the outcome is unknown, even if it means betting on yourself before anyone else does. For me, those steps looked like coming home to myself and the land that makes me feel safe, rebuilding from the soil up, pouring my love into a website that felt like me, and committing to the path even when I couldn't see the results yet. And somewhere in that silence, I started to become. This whole quarter was quiet on the outside, but internally, I was working deep underground, healing, processing, reimagining, manifesting. It was a lot. But I wasn't blooming just yet. I was acknowledging my potential and the potentiality in all life. And that's really the first step of being able to come into yourself and say, what if these things could be happening? So you don't bloom by force, you bloom by faith, by trusting that the invisible is still sacred. And just because no one can see your growth doesn't mean it's not happening. And even in the quiet season, there were still glimmers. I still had some wins. And today I just want to honor them because this part matters too. So my first and biggest win was I bought a car. It was something reliable, something nice, something that could carry me to my dreams. It wasn't the newest car, but it was aligned. And for the first time in a really long time, I finally felt mobile. I felt free. I felt capable. I stayed true to my values, and as I continued my work in creative media, I made a choice. I made a choice to only collaborate with holistic wellness businesses, those who are here to uplift, inspire, and heal. I said no to anything that felt misaligned, even when the money was tempting, because integrity comes over income, always. Another win that I had, I set some boundaries with people and energies that drained me. I no longer apologize for protecting my peace because this season of becoming it really required that sacred space. I created spaces for my offerings to be shared, for yoga, breathwork, and wellness guidance. I laid the foundations to share what I've spent years learning and embodying. I built some new relationships, soulful ones with kind, grounded people who see me, and I let go of connections that no longer resonated, without guilt. I followed my intuition every time it nudged me forward. I listened, even when it meant detours, even when it meant slow progress. And without realizing it, things just started falling into place, one step at a time, one inspired action at a time. And some things this season has taught me is that when you follow your heart, your life just begins to align. Things happen in the background without your knowing. You're starting to be seen by people. And the one thing that I really learned from that was that alignment doesn't always mean ease. It just means honesty. And starting over is hard, but it's wildly beautiful. Being broke doesn't mean that you have to be broken. The soil is still holy, even when nothing seems to be growing. And as a reminder, for the ones still planting seeds in the dark, for the ones who move through loss, change, or discomfort, for the ones who aren't blooming just yet, you're not behind. You're just getting started. You're not lost. You're in the sacred becoming. And I urge you to just keep going, keep trusting, keep staying focused, do the 1% every day, and keep choosing you. Because spring, it always comes. And when it does, you'll know that every quiet step you took mattered. Q1 was a reclamation of self, of vision, of direction. Q1 reminded me that becoming doesn't need to be loud, even if you want to be. You don't need constant validation or visible results. What you do need to have is willingness to sit in the unknown, to honor the quiet, to say yes to life, to opportunity, to allow yourself to expand outwards and come back inwards, to believe in yourself before anyone else does, because that's what I did. And honestly, y'all, I am shocked at the amount of beautiful blessings that I have been gifted just in this first quarter of the year. And little by little, with grace, with grit, and with so much heart, you can get to exactly where you want to be, because nothing is impossible. So as I move into the next quarter, I'm not rushing the bloom. I'm honoring the fact that the silent one is the one that shapes the season of blossoming. Because when the petals open, I'll know it wasn't sudden. It was built on every quiet morning, on every step, on every moment spent with myself and my body, with every dollar spent with intention, with every decision that came from my soul rather than from fear. And if you're in your silent season right now and you feel like it's going on for so long, remember you're not behind. You're in alignment. You are becoming something powerful, and to keep going, even now, especially now. So with love and muddy root, I'm going to sign off, and I hope that you click subscribe below, and we'll check in for Q2 later. Have a good one.